everything around me. A lot of other cameras that I've used are quite limited, or they don't seem to really capture the movement of what I'm doing. Some of them are quite jumpy, but I found with the GoPro, it really does just roll with everything that I'm doing. I've been living in the dark since I fell out of the womb. It's alright.
Every content creator really needs to have an action camera. They just allow you to get such a unique and different perspective. Today we're going to be looking at one that's pretty special, the GoPro HERO13, and putting it through its paces, checking out all the settings, but also used it on a number of projects recently just to allow me to show you a POV angle of kind of like me using the camera and, you know, trying it out, as it's perhaps one of the main things most photographers and content creators will use it for. The thing about GoPros and what makes them so impressive as a camera just in general is, one, how small they are, and I know there are a lot of other small cameras out there on the market. Now, my personal experience of GoPros in the past has come pretty much from the FPV Drone Fest, which is this yearly drone festival where people fly drones, surprisingly. And I asked a number of people there what camera they use, and a lot of them did say Action 2s. Most of them did actually refer to using GoPros, and it's become a staple there, as it's become a staple within the action sports industries as a whole. The thing is, with the GoPro HERO13, is it just allows you to do more. It's got some really great specs, and I'll tell you what, GoPro HERO13s are your action cameras, so they're predominantly used for video. The camera can shoot 5.3K at 60p. It does a 27 megapixel photo there, so you can take photos of your adventure with it. However, again, I feel most people getting a GoPro are going to be shooting video with it. They have actually changed the battery here, opting for a slightly more powerful battery that will allow you to shoot for up to 1.5 hours at 4K. And I noticed this when I was out and about shooting. It really didn't drain the battery too much. I actually went a couple days grabbing the clips that I needed it to, and it worked out really quite well. And this is where I come into perhaps one of my favorite parts of it, and that's actually simply pressing the button on the top of the camera and it turning on without a load screen and just recording. It was a nice way to kind of get on with shooting. It still announces that it's turned on, so you can't necessarily be stealthy with it. This is a setting I believe you might be able to turn off inside. So coming back to the video specs, it also does 4K 120 and a surprising 2.7K at 240 frames a second. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the sportiest person alive, but GoPro very much are a very sports related action camera kind of thing. So I thought, what better to take it out and do a little bit of basketball. Going to test out a few different things here. Going to test out the wide angle on linear. Only does 4K, which is actually quite surprising. And then without the wide angle lens, you can actually shoot 5.3K at 60p. Allows you to get some really, you know, kind of cool slow motion shots, maybe a little bit fun, a bit stupid. Let's face it, most of the slow motion shots is either guys doing something stupid, kids splashing in the pool, or something along those lines when it comes to GoPro, you know, slow motion shots. But, you know, it's nice to have it, can't complain about that. Of course, you got the ability to shoot HDR and high log gamma images. You got the new HyperSmooth 6.0 with AutoBoost there as well, which basically means it will make your image a lot smoother. This is HB lens compatible as well, which is, you know, GoPro's kind of lenses, which is something I think is actually really quite cool. On this video, we only got the wide angle at the moment, but I will do future videos if you guys are interested on both the anamorphic and the macro. The macro is the one that I really wanted to test out because it will take away what I used this mostly for, and that's kind of like the macro capabilities of taking photos and videos of the switches whilst I'm filming without necessarily having to grab another camera to film the camera I'm filming with. This one was the one I actually found most interesting, and that's Bluetooth audio capabilities, which will allow you to actually connect your DJI Mic 2s directly to the GoPro HERO13, allowing you to get higher fidelity audio, and especially if you want to hide the camera somewhere or have the camera off to one side and you're doing interviews with people out in the street, something along those lines. It's nice to actually have that compatibility with Bluetooth to be able to access those kind of things. I believe you can do this both with the DJI Mic 2s and then the Rode counterparts as well. Great thing about having an action camera in your arsenal is that they pretty much fit anywhere. I've got this right now on a magic arm from three-legged thing. It's perhaps my favorite magic arm that I actually use, as it allows me to really get some unique and very different angles on cameras, and hopefully this will do the same. But we'll test that out today as well. Anyway, hopefully I got a shot in there somewhere. This is of course video from the GoPro Hero 13, and I'll be using it today to film some of the review video for the Instax Evo wide camera. And it's just a nice little easy device that I can actually do some 2 camera bits maybe. And this is the point that I just want to make here, is that the audio quality coming out of the camera just in general was pretty decent. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's not audio that I would throw away if I was telling a story. And I'd just like to say, ever since actually getting this GoPro into my hands, it's been an absolute wonder to use. Now, having the ability to have another angle, another creative tool in my backpack is super important. And as creators yourselves, I can see that being important to you as well. So let's get you've got a front screen there for a selfie mode, which will allow you to kind of see what the camera sees. This is of course a waterproof camera. It is only waterproof up to a certain distance, so it's not actually, you know, you can't go deep sea diving with it, in which you're going to need another case there. But for just submerging it and going swimming in general places, you should be alright. Mode dial and the turn on button there, as well as a mic over this side. And then at the top, of course, you got the quick access button, which I've actually found super useful whilst using it. Opening it up now. To open it up, you just pull that down and it releases the gaskets for the water sealing. And then you've got your battery, which is actually a new battery. I believe it's actually a new battery. And that just simply slots in there, gives you a very long time amount to record. And you got your USB-C input as well as your micro SD, in which I need to actually put a micro SD in there. So let's go over to my micro SD, take it out. Now with this channel, I do a lot of kind of like POV or just like shots with the cameras attached to the actual camera itself. And in some cases, put in my phone is not actually perfect for the situation I'm shooting in. This will allow me to do just a little bit more. And you've got a load of different modes actually on the camera itself. You've got a load of different modes on the camera itself, including slow motion and a bunch of other things which we can get to in a second. On the other bits just to talk about is the fact you can actually change the lenses on the camera. In this little case here, I have the ND filters, which is perfect if you want to be getting your motion blur in your shots and, you know, making sure you get the right exposure. The other thing this is great for is if you want to do some more photography with it, do light trails. It's going to be really useful for you to be able to create some cool content with. My favourite thing though right now, and actually there's another favourite thing I want to test out and another one after that as well. However, I don't actually have access to them at the moment. So what we've got here is the wide angle lens for the camera. So you get the GoPro like that, you pull it out a little bit and then twist it, and that lens comes off. You then meet up the blue to the blue, then twist that on. Now what you have is the wide angle lens, giving you a much larger perspective as to what you're shooting. We're going to be trying a little bit of this out today, as I'm going to be doing a little bit of basketball, so it's going to be, you know, invaluable for doing that. What I've done, because I'm just using a satchel and I don't necessarily want to be carrying a harness around for POV angles, is I've actually got a Peak Design capture clip here, and I've modded a screw plate to your Peak Design plate, so I can just literally do this. I do actually have the POV kit from Peak Design as well, but because the strap goes across my chest, I want to make sure it's actually grabbing what I want it to, and that's that angle right there. So let's get on. One of the main ways I'm going to be using this on the channel more and more is of course for the POV angle. For example, if I am looking to do some POV, I can just press the button on the top without actually looking at the camera, and I know I've got POV. which essentially allows me to get things like this grabber camera, for example this Instax Wide Evo, bring it up, turn it on, take a photo, and then I can also then print out the photo then as well, all showing kind of like the capabilities of the actual camera itself, and in that retrospect it's pretty damn cool. Test out here is which looks better, they're using the wide angle lens or using the lens inside. So of course we've just got that shot. Let's remove the lens like so and put on the new lens. Take that off. I'm just going to put this in my pocket a second, and now we're going to do the same thing with the camera I had with the wide angle lens and just see which one's better. So I'm just going to press the button. The camera should automatically recognize the actual lens that's there, and then I'm going to take out the camera. Of course I've left it on because I am that kind of person, and then we're going to take a picture of the camera with the cap off, and then going to print that photo out and hopefully get a good shot. And the reason why I feel like this is going to end up becoming one of the more important cameras in my setup is because I film a lot of these videos without anybody around. Tyler joins me every now and then, but he does other parts within the company itself. So actually having the ability to film multiple angles without necessarily somebody else here is actually massively important. If you're a photographer or content creator like me, you want to make sure you're using the professional settings, and inside of the camera the professional settings are reasonably in depth. You're actually even able to create presets for you to come back to later on, and also change the name, the log format, the ratio, framing, the framing ratio, and all the other like nitty and gritty pieces inside of the camera in order to get the shots that you're ultimately looking for. You also have the ability to change the shutter speed, white balance, and everything else like that within this menu. Coming out of the professional mode now, let's check out the lenses. The first one being the one that I use the most, and that is the linear 22mm digital lens. This basically keeps all of the lines actually straight, and this is where I prefer to shoot this with. Then switching over now to the wide angle 16mm. Now we're going to switch over to the 14mm and just see what that looks like. You're going to expect just a little bit more distortion here. Again, it's a 14mm equivalent. This is also one of our regular customers. Absolutely lovely gent. Thank you for being a model, I suppose. And now we're going to be going to the ultra wide lens mod mode, and this is quite frankly ridiculous. I don't actually see myself using this wide of an angle for anything in which I use, and then we can go one further with that, and it's just absolutely mental, isn't it, really? Jumping back to linear, what we're going to do now is check out the framing ratios on the actual camera. Of course, we have vertical, which seems a little bit pointless, and then we also have the other ones there. It just allows you to format your videos in a little bit of a better way. So that was vertical, this is traditional, so you're kind of like 4:3, it works out quite well. And then lastly we have the full frame setting, which is basically taking an image the size of the actual sensor, which actually means this camera is actually really good for shooting content in general, because the full frame actually allows us to convert it to portrait as well as landscape. This is the traditional lens inside of the camera, and then this is what it is compared to using the ultra wide glass. As you can see, there's a little bit of difference here. It's not massive though. What I would like about the GoPro is that I can keep this in my pocket because I don't want to be using this all the time, and it allows me to do a few other different things. For example, using it as a POV camera, which I feel like a lot of people do use GoPros as. And I've been using that a hell of a lot in the videos recently. And I think it really came into its own when I was testing out the Instax Evo Wide. When I was testing out the Instax Evo Wide, because with that camera, I was having a lot of just public interactions with people. And I wanted to be able to kind of like show that kind of like public reaction in the kind of like a discreet kind of way, but also in a way which kind of like makes people be a part of the video. And I feel like it does that kind of thing really quite well. So in my humble opinion, I think everyone should have an action camera of some sort in your bag. Today we looked at the GoPro Hero 13, and it can be anyone, but this one is actually really quite good. But I just want to continue with an interview I took with the guy from the start who is a busker that uses them in a little bit of a different way.
Who are you? What do you do?
My name is Rowan, aka the Walking Busker. I've been a busker for the last 5 years, playing original music and covers on the streets, but a while ago I found a real passion for walking around and engaging with people, creating connecting moments. So I use a Hero 10, GoPro Hero 10, which is attached via all these different adjustments. And I've also got different attachments on different places where I attach speakers, a card reader, you can see this one down here. I've got a signage connected also with the GoPro attachments. And there's no end to the possibilities with how many different angles I can get from this. But it's good. It's really, the reason I go for GoPro in particular is the lens. It really allows for the great angle. You can just see everything around me. A lot of other cameras that I've used are quite limited, or they don't seem to really capture the movement. Okay, so my name is the Walking Busker. You can find this logo on all of the socials, from Facebook to Instagram to TikTok. I've also got music out on YouTube, Spotify.
If you like this video, make sure you like, follow, subscribe if you want to see more. Have a good day.